totally new car. All new Nissan Micra. Meet the accomplice.
You played this one?
Yeah, of course I played this.
Right, it's just because it doesn't massively look like you know what you're doing.
Hey Lee, come cuz. Right, let me just play my game, man.
What is this pace? You ain't got any pace.
Cross it.
Is there something wrong with your thumbs?
Mate, you are a dirty player, man.
Checkers.
Shut up, bruv.
Oh, he's done him. He's done him again. Oh, so all football. I'm just tired all the time.
You're doing really well, Lee.
Thanks. Oh, you're having a mare here, mate.
Shut up, bruv. Oh, you're lucky, Lee. You're lucky.
All my life is changing every day, in every possible way. Then I open up and see the person falling here is me. 'Cause you're a dream to me.
Made with care, handled with care, delivered with care. That's what dreams are made of.
Right now is a great time to join BT Mobile. It starts from just £5 a month if you've got BT broadband at home, and you can get online with fast 4G and Wi-Fi hotspots in more places than any other mobile provider. You can get 500 megabytes of data with our great value starter SIM for just £5 a month. If you need more, our Essential SIM has 3 gigabytes of data for £11 a month. Then there's our Ultimate SIM, fully loaded with 15 gigabytes of data for just £20 a month. Anyone can get a great deal with BT Mobile. With a great range of SIM-only plans to choose from, you're bound to find the right one for you. Call 0800 456 1456 or visit bt.com/SIM-only.
Boxing is what I do, it's what I've always done. I live and breathe the sport. As a young lad, Leeds didn't really have anybody in boxing to aspire to be like. I want to be a role model to younger kids, to say, listen, you can do something in your life, you can make it, you don't have to go down wrong paths. Leeds haven't ever had a world champion, and I want to be the first one, and that'll go down in history, I think. And hopefully get a key to City.
UFC on BT Sport, sponsored by BetSafe.
This programme contains flashing images and scenes of violent physical contact. Viewer discretion is advised.
First thing that comes to mind, hater.
John Jones, my octagon, I'm the man.
Without a win over me, wasn't even real.
What John Jones represents is a story that's as old as time. It represents youth and talent and potential, and it represents all of the demons. John has shown it all.
I do believe that he needs to own up to his mistakes.
It's pretty public that I'm not a perfect person, but I don't remember signing anything that said I had to be a perfect person. I just think it's funny that he is just so high and mighty. Who is he to judge me? Ultimately, my job is just to kick his ass, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Losing to John, I had a lot of sleepless nights. I mourned that loss, and I would let it literally just eat me alive so that I never have to feel that way again.
I hope he's somewhere crying right now. I'm sure he is.
Can John find maturity and discipline, or can Cormier pass the incredibly talented former champion and become the best light heavyweight of all time? This is Ali versus Frazier in MMA.
I don't really take anything personally, but I would like to just give him a sustained beating. He's that arrogant, he's cocky, he's a prick. He doesn't get the belt back.
DC has the belt, but he's not the true champion because he's in my era. I feel like winning this fight just closes a certain chapter in my life.
This isn't validation for my championship reign. I've been the champion for 2.5 years. I go out there as the champ, I walk out as the champ. There is no other outcome.
That guy has a perfect record. I'm the only person to beat him. A victory over me would legitimize him as one of the greatest fighters ever. If it happens the other way, he was just the guy who could have been.
I get a chance to redeem myself. Once I beat John Jones, I'm in the conversation as the greatest fighter to ever step foot in the octagon. This was for legacy.
I'm excited to just put this man away once and for all.
Goosebumps.
With about as much fanfare as you would expect. The #1 ranked light heavyweight contender, the consensus greatest light heavyweight of all time, Joe Johnny Bones Jones, is back. He'll look to pick up where he left off.
And physically, he looks sensational. I've watched some of the training footage, and John has been more focused with more discipline for this camp than any in recent memory. He knows what's on the line, and his quote that I want to get my life back. That says it all. This is his opportunity to do just that. And it looks like he has done everything perfect in preparation. All word has been that he has been laser beam focused in preparation for this attempt to win back his title.
John Jones represents how tough it is to not just be the best fighter in the world, but to be the best fighter in the world with life around you still happening. I mean, he was so young when he became champion that it was incredible that he even did it. And then you give everything in the world to this 21-year-old, straight out of high school, straight out of college, just give him everything on earth. And then you say, good luck, have fun. And you know what? He did. He did have fun. He did figure it out. And he did it his way. And I think that a lot of fans around the world have connected with that John Jones just as much as they've dealt with this John Jones. Tonight's Prep Point is brought to you by Harley-Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley-Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend.
All young, wild champions seem to have that story. Mike Tyson's a perfect example of that. I mean, so many fighters.
Liddell.
Yeah, so many fighters in that situation fall victim to the excess, fall victim to the temptation, all the chaos, all the friends, all the parties, all the toys.
It's kind of like Liddell Couture in a sense. I mean, you got Couture, who was the perfect All-American wrestler who did everything right perceivably. And then you got the opposite. Liddell, who's just a wild man. And we're seeing that again, except new day and age. This is the evolution of mixed martial arts through these two gentlemen. We watched Couture, we watched Liddell, and now we're seeing John Jones, and now we're seeing Daniel Cormier. And this is how the sport has built up. Well, and when it comes to John Jones, the fighter, you mentioned, Joe, the physical conditioning. He said he's going to be no more than 217 pounds in there tonight. But when you talk to his coaches, when it comes to volume, technique, creativity, they're telling us we ain't seen nothing yet. We'll see if this is indeed John Jones 2.0 here tonight, as he looks to, in his words, restore order to this UFC light heavyweight division and leave as the new champion at 205 pounds. John Jones back where he belongs, inside the octagon.
goatee, it must be fight night for the UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. And his last fight against Anthony Rumble Johnson in Buffalo, we were all there. He said he was in shape, but he just said there was too much comfort in his mentality. He felt like there was a clear path to victory that night, and as a result, he wasn't in the shape of his life. If John Jones is in the shape of his life, the same can be said for the current champion, DC.
I think DC is so motivated for this fight. This is a legacy fight for him. The words, "you're not the real champ," have been stinging him for a couple years now. Despite his fantastic victory over Gustafsson, despite his 2 victories over a man who many people believe is the most dangerous light heavyweight alive in Rumble Johnson, he still knows that he did not beat John Jones, and John Jones is still out there. This is his opportunity. This is his moment.
And you know, I don't think it's true that DC's not the champ. I think he earned this championship, and I think that's why these gentlemen are here. He's been a role model to everybody all over the world, to wrestling, to fighting. He's done a great job as champion, keeping high-level fights and beating the top in the division while John was out, keeping this division alive. He has done outstanding things for the sports of mixed martial arts, wrestling, and fighting in general. So these guys are evenly matched as champions, in my opinion. I don't see it any other way, and I cannot wait to see these two fight. I even hope it goes to a third match, just because I can't help it.
I agree with you on all counts, but in his mind and in the minds of the fans, John Jones is still young, still active, still healthy, and Daniel Cormier has not beaten him.
Right.
And that will always be that until tonight.
Agreed.
Tonight, Daniel Cormier has a chance to silence all the doubters, all the haters, put it down, and stick it in John Jones' face.
And when I asked DC about the first meeting in 2015, he said, I'm no longer the angry challenger. I now am much more in tune with a 5-round fight. I'm stronger, I'm training harder, and you will see those results here tonight. We'll see if Daniel Cormier can get it done tonight against John Jones and potentially leave here as the greatest fighter in mixed martial arts history. Our Tale of the Tape is brought to you by Performance Inspired, the all-natural high-performance line of sports nutrition trusted by athletes and health enthusiasts. Visit pi-nutrition.com. So Daniel Cormier now 38. John Jones turned 30 earlier this month. You see the discrepancy in height, but it's the reach that everybody's talking about, and rightfully so. A 12-inch advantage with the challenger, John Jones. All right, now for the official introductions. Back inside of Bruce Buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Harley-Davidson. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Executive Officer Andy Foster. Our 3 judges scoring this contest in octagon side are Guillermo Bravo, Chris Lee, and Michael Bell. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon, Big John McCarthy. This bout is sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. And now, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Honda Center in Anaheim, California. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a look-see-do fighting style fighter, holding a professional record, 22 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 204 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Endicott, New York, presenting the former UFC Light Heavyweight Champion and the #1 ranked Light Heavyweight Contender in the world, John Bones Jones! And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 19 wins, 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of San Jose, California, presenting the former Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix champion and the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel DC.
Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the back. I want you to protect yourself at all times. I want you to listen to my instructions at all times. I want you to fight hard but fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good. Step back. Good luck.
Here we go. The wait is over. Jon Jones is back for the first time since April of 2016 to take on one of his chief rivals, if not his chief rival, the reigning champ, Daniel Cormier. Tonight's Fight Clock is brought to you by HSS, the world leader in orthopedics. Jon Jones in white getting off early here. Cormier in the black with gold.
Cormier checking the kicks very well right off the bat. See if he catches it. Can create wrestling from the catching those kicks at all.
Oh, big. Looked like he knocked the mouthpiece out.
He did.
Huge
Big John picked it up. Spinning back kick to the body by John. Jones is fighting without a mouthpiece right now. Big John looks for an opportunity to give it back to him. Takedown for Jon Jones.
Not quite. No
right
control.
back up to his feet.
There's no control from that takedown. Cormier was able to flip him right up. They'll still probably call it a takedown, though, the judges anyways.
Jones left hand over the top.
Southpaw stance from Jones. Watch the left high kick coming. See, Jones is eating the inside kick coming over the top of the Superman punch.
Small cut underneath the left eye of Daniel Cormier. You can't help but notice the obvious size discrepancy.
Jones just so long, he reaches so far. Inspector Gadget, arms and legs.
Well, and he's a guy who will have length over most heavyweights if indeed he chooses to move up one day.
Cormier needs to keep the pressure, stay in the chin of Jones so he can't use his length so well. See the pressure from DC like he should be. The feints are going to do huge dividends, pay huge dividends for Jones if he keeps those fakes going on DC.
John loves those oblique kicks to the thighs, the hyperextending knees.
Jones shucks Cormier off there. DC 13-0 as a heavyweight before moving down to 205 pounds. He's never been finished in mixed martial arts.
Remember this, the height of Jones makes underhooks from DC not as effective. He has to jack Jon Jones up in order for an underhook to work.
Nice,
and he's not able to.
there.
And those are the knees we saw Jones land on DC early to take the rounds 4 and 5 out of DC's gas tank. Let's see if he can do it again.
DC felt like the Jon Jones that fought Ovince St. Preux looked rusty, he looked nervous, he looked hesitant to pull the trigger, and he's hoping that that Jon Jones is who he's facing here tonight.
Some have suggested, Dan Hardy included, that maybe Jon Jones didn't want to reveal too much. Daniel Cormier was sitting in these seats doing commentary for that fight.
Oh, I doubt that. Yeah. He would love to look spectacular. That doesn't make any sense at all. And it's not taking anything away from Ovince St. Preux, who's an excellent fighter. He's a difficult guy, and he's a guy that John took on short notice, so it wasn't a fighter that he was preparing for.
Right.
Big thing I noticed, look how calm DC is right now. He knows the strikes are coming, but he's seeing what's coming at him. So he's making reads right now, calm.
It's very different than the first time they fought. Not emotional, methodical.
Yep.
See it in his eyes. He's
yes.
right here.
Yep.
He's getting clipped every here and there, just like every other fight, though. I mean, both these guys are getting hit.
But nobody takes the shots out of the DC.
Oh, no doubt about it.
The only guy that's been able to absorb the bombs from Rumble.
And heavyweights prior to Rumble Johnson.
Very good point.
Less than 2 minutes here to go, round one. So you've got to say, pretty good start here for Cormier, the betting underdog here tonight.
We'll see for Jones, he grabs your hands, and comes over with an elbow. His elbows are like a right hand or a jab.
Yeah, he used that very well against Rashad.
But then when he gets you to start grabbing his hands, that's when he comes down the middle with punches. So he just mixes it up so well.
That was an outstanding leg kick by Cormier, and John just checked the second one. Oh, the bottom of the left hook.
I like that DC's going to the body of Jones. I think that's the best plan you can have. Rip the body of Jones and go to the head later on in the rounds.
DC looks so much more composed in this fight. So much more relaxed. And you got to think, this is a guy who's fought Rumble twice and Gustafsson since their fight. 5 hard rounds with Gustafsson. And we saw how fantastic Gustafsson looked against Glover Teixeira in his last fight.
Agreed. And DC is seeing everything as well.
Oh, he caught it.
Big punches landed by DC. And he's hanging on the head of Jones, looking for uppercuts, knees. There they are. There's the uppercut he likes.
Less than 30 seconds here to go in the round. Jones touching deep.
Oh, over the top.
DC, combination, starting with a kick, ending with a kick, finish mixing punches in between. I mean, it's a different Daniel Cormier right now with his combinations in this first round.
And he's talking trash.
He is talking now.
He's feeling it.
Well, Jones outlanded Cormier, but you've got to be encouraged if you're out of that red corner.
And we see here that Jones is throwing big overhand lefts. He's switching stance. DC gets a nasty right uppercut, punches the mouthpiece right out of John Jones. This is what we saw in the first fight was these uppercuts. This is where DC is so good. He gets you to bite on his shots, and then he hits you with the uppercuts. Here, a nice trip from Jones. No control on the takedown, but a good trip. Beautiful knee to the ribs of DC, and then a left hook, right overhand, left hook, right uppercut from DC to the body at the end. He's trying to transition.
Keep busy. Don't let him be first too much, okay? More than one. High and low.
Keep them hands still.
Add some face,
Beautiful
okay?
hands.
Add some face.
I need this point.
Beautiful. Keep control of the pace. Okay. Beautiful job.
Hey, stay relaxed.
Bob Cook, Javier Mendez in that corner of Daniel Cormier. They really like the handwork out of DC in that first round. Round 2 forthcoming.
You ready? Get off.
Jones is in white. Daniel Cormier in the black trunks with gold trim.
Nice left hook to the body, partially blocked. Nice knee to the body by John.
Jones finds a home for that right hand over the top.
DC's landed several of those right leg kicks. And there's another one. And John switching stances, perhaps because of it.
Cormier closes the distance, rips the body, doing a pretty good job getting inside of that reach of John Jones.
We saw the momentum towards the end of the first round go towards Daniel Cormier.
I think DC said there was a headbutt possibly. I think that's what I heard. Yeah, it was a headbutt. It was a headbutt when DC went to scoop up that lead leg of Jones. They clashed heads.
Hurting it all in any way. Let the doctor look at it. I'm just going to let him look at it real quick.
Right
okay.
there.
I'm going to give it 1 second. Come here. Over that. It's unintentional clash of heads. Good, thank you. Stay
Jones is so long, his legs just catch him up and hold him up. I mean, that's a takedown on almost anybody else by Cormier, but Jones with his balance and his length.
All right, we resume the second round here, 1 minute in. Jones choosing to work the body here. He's done so to great effect in the early going.
He's so effective with that stomp to the thigh. That's such a tricky technique. Beautiful left hook and a right hand over the top by DC.
And now we're seeing DC use the same strategy Jones uses. He grabs the hands and then starts throwing combinations once he gets Jones to reach.
Couple nice inside leg kicks there for Johnny Bones. Now DC returns fire.
That one he caught though on the shin.
It's the pressure of DC that's going to make the biggest difference. Can he keep this type of pace and this type of pressure for all 5 rounds? We saw him do it for 3 last time.
Well, you got to think that there's a lot going on in that first fight as well with emotions.
Cormier shakes off the groin strike there. Under 3 minutes here to go in the round.
Those teep kicks to the knees of Cormier just really disrupt the punch count of DC. It keeps the pressure from happening, keeps DC from being able to keep his feet underneath them when he throws punches.
Nice rip to the body by John.
DC starting to chase John a little bit more instead of head him up. There we go. Now we see him head him off. That's what DC's got to do, is not get caught up chasing Jones, following him, but head him off. Another big right hand, double left hook right hand by DC.
Looked like it landed right behind the ear now, Jones.
DC saying you're missing.
Oh, beautiful 2 shots. Left hook and a right uppercut.
Big uppercuts. Now DC's getting him coming in. Breaking his posture. Got Jones grabbing for a clinch and he's hitting him.
Jones with a high kick.
DC just oozing confidence here.
This is absolutely a different Daniel Cormier than their first fight.
Fighting Gustafsson helped him a ton. You've got to believe that. A longer, lankier striker. And that's paid dividends in this matchup with Jones as well. He's had experience while Jones was out, and he's made the best of it.
Beautiful trip by Daniel, but he wound up on the bottom. Nice knee to the body.
I mean, that trip was beautiful, and the recovery from Jones was beautiful. I mean, these guys are just...
I mean, these are easily the 2 best light heavyweights of all time.
In wrestling, they move like 125ers. I mean, they just have the right movements. They know where everything's at.
Body strikes. Jones doubling up on Daniel Cormier thus far. 1 minute now to go in round 2.
And the biggest difference is look how comfortable DC is underhooking, clinching with Jones. Nobody feels that comfortable, but DC with his Greco background, he's comfortable. He's smiling in the clinch with Jones. He loves it. That's where he wants to be.
DC has been hyper-focused on this rematch since the first meeting 2.5 years ago. Took care of his business while John Jones was not competing. Nice 1-2 there from Cormier. So DC continues to be the advancing party here late in round 2. Jones has outlanded him statistically thus far, but it's a good look for the judges when you're advancing and forcing the action.
Oh!
And that first meeting also very competitive through 3 rounds.
Mr. Jones, let's do some big breaths together. Slow it down. Let's do some big breaths. Bring it down. Feel that heart going crazy? Bring it down. Slow down. Slow down. There you go. That's my man. All right, so all that like no stuff, that's him trying to fight out of that nightmare, right? Okay, so you gotta stay focused now. It's gonna come hard this 3rd round. You gotta stay focused and consistent. What are you gonna do? Focused and consistent.
There's a beautiful knee to the body by John. Cormier glancing right hand over the top and a left hook. Another right hand. That's a nice left to the body by John. And there's that stomp, but there's a beautiful uppercut by Cormier. And there's that trip.
Ready? Get up.
All right, here we go. 3rd round of a possible 5 for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Daniel Cormier, John Jones.
Now, if you're looking at the statistics and the numbers and John is outlanding, you got to wonder, how does Cormier's corner feel about this? And what is their advice to Daniel?
Right now we got Jones landing more because he's longer. He's able to touch DC first, and those kicks. DC's not throwing as many kicks as Jones. Those kicks are adding up on the tolls for Jones on the numbers.
It's also the volume of strikes that John's throwing. He's never stopping.
Yep. Well, the kicks set up the punches set up the kicks. It all flows together. DC's got to pressure, walk through the damage in order to get to a clinch or hit more in the clinch, in the pocket. The range is always going to be an issue to get by. Nice, beautiful uppercut left hook. That's been his best combination anytime he commits to the pocket with Jones. Cool.
Cormier continues to press forward here. Jones keeping those eyes low.
Cormier's taking a lot off of his strikes here, just looking for his range.
Well, and you wonder how much he thinks about that first meeting, if at all, in terms of the cardio, specifically in that fourth round, one he had to sort of take off.
Yeah, well.
9-2!
Mike Winklejohn, Izzy Martinez, Brandon Gibson.
Back in the kicks, John.
He's going to try to take us down.
DC can't quite head him off. You see Jones get out there. DC wants to head him off, but Jones knows that. Gets off the fence wisely.
Head strike, slight advantage for Daniel Cormier thus far.
And really, Jones is just being highly economical, going to the body on DC with the knees, with the low kicks, and with the body punches. It just make it, it's taxing. It adds up.
Cormier once again sends Jones retreating.
He's just having a hard time reaching John. Oh, John landed a high kick. He's hurt.
DC was stunned by that head kick. Jones trying to press the issue here. Cormier is down. Not out yet.
Cormier's in big trouble. And John is all over him.
Here comes Johnny Bones with the ground and pound. Cormier.
That could be it.
Trying to survive.
That's it. He's out. He's out.
John Jones has done it. John Jones is back. And he is the new UFC light heavyweight champion. How about it?
Wow.
A valiant effort from the now former champion Daniel Cormier, but a patient John Jones finds his window and closes the show.
And DC is still down. That was brutal, absolutely brutal.
Perhaps he was allowed to take one or two strikes too many, Joe.
Yeah, and as emphatic as it gets.
This fight replay, as you see the celebration from the Jones family, is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And there's the head kick, which started it all off. Perfect placement. DC's in big trouble. John moves in and closes the show.
And that's just those teep kicks and the low kicks adding up. DC thought it was low, and he went high with it.
He tripped him there. John moves in for the kill. Kick to the body. And drops some horrible elbows on him. And DC's just way too hurt here to do anything about it. And he's eating some big bombs. Big John gives him every chance in the world. But that's a wrap.
So John Jones becomes the first man to finish Daniel Cormier. The celebration is on. In the corner, big win for Jackson Wink MMA tonight. John Jones once again sits atop this UFC light heavyweight division. And a pretty calculated approach tonight, Dominic. He bided his time, and when a window opened, he barged right through it.
That was the approach of a pound-for-pound best. Yeah, that's what that approach was. And John Jones fought a smart fight, did everything tactically. Greg Jackson gave him great advice: stay consistent, and over the course it will add up, and that's what caused the demise of the fight.
Not sure what Cormier's issue is right now.
I think DC just wants to shake his hand. I think he's kind of out of it right now. I think he wants to just say something to Jones. I don't think he's trying to cause a problem right now. They're just trying to keep everything cool in there.
Dana White wisely gets in the middle there. Cormier frustrated with something. All right, with that, the official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 1 second of the third round, declaring the winner by knockout. And now, and again, the new undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, John Bones Jones.
I'm here with the winner, John Jones. You made it back.
I made it back, man. Man, such a beautiful moment. Man, I did a lot of right things to get back in this position. Man, I tell you what, man, anybody at home let yourself down, you let your family down, you let your peers down, your coworkers down, you let yourself down, it's never over. As long as you never quit, it's never over. I'm back here. And, oh, yeah.
John, with all that you've been through over the last few years, the bitter rivalry between you and Daniel, all the emotions, all the struggle, what does this feel like right now to have that belt back around your waist and hear Bruce Buffer say, and new, undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world?
It feels unbelievable, man. It feels unbelievable. It's a surreal moment. Man, thank you guys. Thank you all. Everybody. All the love, all the support. I know it hasn't been easy to root for me, but I've had the most loyal fans ever. I love you all. Thank you so much. Even the haters, all the negativity, all the discouraging things that was said. I love you guys too, because you guys motivated me and pushed me to just keep fighting and to prove you all wrong. So I love you all.
John, look up at the big screen and let's take a look at the end of the fight. You caught him with his head kick, and this is what started all off. Perfectly placed head kick. You saw he was hurt. Talk us through what was going through your mind when you saw that kick land and you saw his legs give out.
Well, I just want to thank my coaching staff, Greg Jackson, Mike Winklejohn, Brandon Gibson, Izzy Style, Tusa, Mike Beneville. I got the best coach, Lawrence. I got the best coaching staff, Jesse, my swim coach. You know, we know that he likes to dip his head to the left, and we were banking on him to instinctually dip that way sooner or later. And, you know, I didn't throw him any high kicks, and I surprised him with that one, and it did the job.
It's over, John.
It's over.
You came back?
It is over. Yeah, you know what, Joe? I want to take this time to thank Daniel Cormier for being my biggest rival and motivator. Daniel Cormier, guys, he has absolutely no reason to hang his head. He has been a model champion, a model husband, a model father, a teammate, leader, and I aspire to be a lot more like that man, because he's an amazing human being. Unfortunately, we are opponents, but outside of that, he is a true champion for the rest of his life.
Congratulations, John. I hope your life from now on is nothing but good.
There's something about rivalries that brings the great out of all of us, and to show that kind of respect and to be that respectful, John Jones, it shows the maturity of himself through the ups and downs of his career. And Daniel Cormier is not done either. Don't think, ladies and gentlemen, that just because he's hurt right now, he's done. He is not out of this. An incredible performance.
I'm here with Daniel
by both
Cormier.
these guys.
Daniel, give us your thoughts right now.
I don't know, man. I thought the fight was going well. I don't even know what happened.
It's like I kicked in the head. Oh man, I'm so disappointed.
You know, I don't think it's a good idea to interview fighters after they've been knocked out, but I really wanted to give you a chance to express yourself. I know this was an incredible moment for you. It was very emotional. What can you say at all about this and the rivalry between you and John?
I don't know, man. I guess if you win both fights, there is no rivalry, so I don't know.
Thank you for everything, Daniel. Daniel Cormier, ladies and gentlemen.
Daniel Cormier humbled in defeat tonight. John Jones with a
Brock Lesnar. If you want to know what it feels like to get your ass kicked by a guy who weighs 40 pounds less than you, meet me in the octagon.
So the king has regained his throne. And Johnny Bones adding fuel to the Brock Lesnar fire there.
And that's the pound for pound, #1, back on top. Back in the game for all of us.
John Jones has never really been beaten in mixed martial arts. He came in as a guy who many people believed was the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time. Did nothing to dispel that theory here tonight. UFC 214, Cormier versus Jones 2, has been brought to you by Harley-Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley-Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend. And by Grunt Style, this will defend.
This is the main event of the evening.
People thought I lost it. I didn't lose it. I'm back. I'm back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Stepping through finishes. Oh, Volkov throwing hands here. Chasing the early knockout. Well, not a good night to be a short guy. The UFC's first live event in September will be on the 2nd of the month in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Alexander Volkov, #5 in the world, or 8 at heavyweight, taking on the skyscraper Stefan Struve. Jermaine Durandamy returns down a division, 135 pounds, against Marion Renault. That is the main card. You can see it on UFC Fight Pass, 3 p.m. Eastern, for the main card on Saturday, September 2nd. But tonight, of course, it is all about John Jones and Daniel Cormier. We waited 2.5 years for these guys to run it back. I believe both of their futures are in the UFC Hall of Fame, but this rivalry, this series, belongs to Johnny Bones.
I think Daniel said it best. Very humble in defeat. If he beat me both times, there really is no rivalry.
Yeah, there was a rivalry, though, because he made John Jones better. I get his point. I get your point. I get it. There isn't a rivalry anymore. But you need somebody like Daniel Cormier to hold the torch the way he did while Jones was out in order to make Jones come back the way he did. That hungry, that precise, that strong, that on point. Daniel Cormier is partly responsible for making John Jones what he is, just like my rivalries are partly responsible for making me who I've become. And you got to tip your hat to DC for the toughness and for everything that Jones said about him afterwards. And how about Jones, you know, showing maturity? That's not the same Jones we saw have the title in the past. The old Jones would have been laughing at his face. This Jones is a mature man who's been through some things, that understands what it's like to feel a low point, and I respect him for the things he said about DC, and I respect DC as well for the champion that he was.
All right, well, let's take a look back at the tape, because there was a lot to like on the Cormier side while it lasted, but ultimately the night belongs to Johnny Bones.
Well, John said that they had planned for Daniel to dip his head in that direction, and he didn't throw a lot of high kicks before that, and the one he landed perfect and clean, and then closed the show with an absolutely ferocious display of ground and pound. When he had Daniel hurt, he put him away, and Daniel got up. Apparently there was some dispute. He didn't even understand what had happened. He didn't know he had been knocked out. He was complaining about the stoppage. They had to explain to him. I hate interviewing fighters after they've been knocked out, but I felt like, I probably shouldn't have done it just now. But Daniel, I felt like, needed his opportunity to express himself, but it's just not a smart move. It's just, I violated my own idea of, in the moment, of interviewing a fighter after they've been knocked out.
I kind of agree with you. I think you should go with your gut, Joe. I think you understand this sport, and I think you understand what's going on, but I mean, DC didn't even really get to say what he might have wanted to say, I don't think. It's just hard. And when you're in this fight scenario, you don't even know what happened. I don't know what happens half the time. When I win, a lot of guys don't, you know. John Jones might not even know what happened. So it's hard. You're dealing with a lot, and it's a lot that hits you at once. So, but you handle the fight. It's just a tough scenario. I don't know. There's no right or wrong way to do that, really.
It is tough. And what I get out of this, what I hope the most, is that John Jones emerges from this the best person he can be. That he's gone through all the crazy stuff that he's been through, all the terrible things, and then he comes out of it really realizing his potential and realizing that he almost lost everything. He almost became a felon. He almost became a story of lost potential.
Yeah.
Now he's the champ again. He won with an absolutely spectacular performance against one of the best light heavyweights of all time in Daniel Cormier. And he has a fresh start and a new beginning and possibly a fight with Brock Lesnar.
Well, and I don't know how mature you guys were, 22, 23 years old, but John Jones now 30, has a 10-year-old daughter. I mean, he seems to be on the right track, at least for now. We'll see how active a champion, though, he will be. And to your point, he called out Brock Lesnar. As we spin this thing forward, Alexander Gustafsson's probably sitting home not too thrilled about what just transpired after the fight, but how do you see this all playing out?
Well, Madison Square Garden is in November. Let's get the party started, baby. That's what I say.
I mean, I want to see Gustafsson or Brock Lesnar, but I think if I'm Jones, I'd rather fight Brock Lesnar than Gustafsson, personally. I mean, that's just what I'm thinking.
That rematch would be an amazing fight. I mean, Gustafsson looked as good as a fighter can look against Glover Teixeira in his last outing. I mean, video game good looking.
Yes.
I mean, beautiful combinations. He utilized his movement, his footwork brilliantly. That was an Alexander Gustafsson that has learned from all the difficult fights he's had inside the octagon and is recognizing his true potential. I would love to see that fight.
Yeah, don't forget, DC and Jones both fought Alexander Gustafsson to a bitter T. I mean, that was probably Jones' best fight besides DC to date, easily. So I'm all in for that one. Hopefully I'm right here again.
Well, and Brock Lesnar's still suspended, so he would not be able to fight November 4th, but maybe by the end of the year.
Isn't this someone we can bribe?
And
or maybe I can get on that card.
What about Volkan Oezdemir? Can the man get some love? Joe Rogan, Dominic Cruz, outstanding job, fellas.
My goodness, amazing against Jimmy Manuwa.
He's knocking everybody out.
Like 3 fights in, and he's top 4 in the UFC now in the light heavyweight division.
And he's just touching them, just like tapping them, and they're just going down. He says he doesn't know what's happening.
All right, Joe Rogan, Dominic Cruz, pleasure. Great job,
gentlemen.
Pleasure
as always, gentlemen.
All right, what a night it was here in Anaheim, California. Here's what's coming up inside the Octagon. On Tuesday, the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series begins at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. The featured bout at middleweight pits Phil Hawes against Julian Marquez. It's the ultimate job interview, and it's only on UFCFightPass.com. Next Saturday, Sergio Pettis goes for his 4th straight win against the also red-hot flyweight contender Brandon Moreno, winner of his last 11. The Mexico City main card gets going at 10 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1. On Saturday, August 26th, it's a pay-per-view event that cannot be missed as Floyd Mayweather faces UFC lightweight champion Conor McGregor. The Showtime pay-per-view begins at 9 in the East, 6 in the West. And UFC Fight Pass kicks off the September slate with a heavyweight showdown between 2 literal giants. The 6'7" Russian Alexander Volkov goes for a 5th straight win against the near 7-footer, the skyscraper Stefan Struve. It's a UFC Fight Night, September 2nd from Rotterdam.